This Morning Cafe continues the whole special coverage of today's particular events. Two key interesting events that will be happening in Parliament. The consideration of amendments, about 150 amendments from 35 MPs on the floor. The whole committee of the House, the National Assembly, will be taking a look at this, the consideration of this, as well as hashtag Occupy Parliament, and well, what the new adult generation, the Gen Z, is really calling it, hashtag Occupy Parliament, a national strike. Gen Z is granting all hardworking Kenyans a day off. Parents, keep your children at home in solidarity, is what a section of that particular flyer really said, and it is what is happening in different parts of the country. We'll be giving you live pictures on that, so stick around for that. Live pictures, definitely stick around for the State House on how the heavy security presence is around State House. Also Parliament buildings, a live picture that we've seen recently this particular morning, some moments ago, is that there's quite the heavy security presence, as well as even the road traffic. Most of protesters have already been on the road. And joining me right now is Gabriela Lor. She is the national youth leader of Upia Party. Karibu sana. You've definitely been on the roads. First of all, even as you also give us your introduction, how are the roads, even when you're coming, how is the situation like today? What do you expect to see even this morning?
Yeah, my name is Gabriela Lor. I'm the National Youth Leader of Upia Party. And today, as I was coming here, there was heavy police. Yeah. And what we are expecting today is there will be millions of youth on the street in all 47 counties.
All right.
Yeah.
So before we dive into even today's protests, taking a look at different parts of the country, this will also be aided by our coverage of different counties with our correspondents just giving us live updates on how the situation looks like. Let's do a post-mortem of even, we can start with the previous demonstrations that we've seen. First off, leave alone even the Gen Z demonstrations and right now the anti-finance bill protests. A comparison between the last year's maandamano that was ever there and now for this one. When you draw a parallel between the two, what do you say?
I think for me, there is a great difference between the other maandamano and the young people maandamano. You see the maandamano led by the opposition, Raila Amolo Odinga, it was more of chaos. People were destroying properties. But this one, it's only your phone, water, and you on street. I think this one is more peaceful. There's no destruction of anything, any property, and we are active in social media. Yeah.
So now take a look at even for last week. I'm pretty sure you followed up on all the events that happened. Starting last week, a time like this, on Tuesday, where a number of Kenyans came to the streets, and a section of very young Kenyans went to the streets on Tuesday, specifically in Nairobi. And then on Wednesday, we saw live pictures in Mombasa, some parts of Nyanza region, specifically in Kisumu as well, and Eldoret. And then it went all the way even to Thursday. Now, a majority of parts of the country also joined into this. It was a whole ripple effect from Tuesday, now Nairobi, into even other regions. What did you make of last week's protests generally?
I think this project, it's all about youth claiming their spaces. You see, it started in Nairobi, and now it's all over the country. Even last Thursday, they demonstrated in Nanyuki, Lodwar. Now, the youth from all the counties are coming together to demand their rights. Yeah, it's all about youth movement, and it's motivating all youth across the country. It's not the Nairobi thing anymore. It's all youth across the country.
All right.
Yeah.
When you take a look at, because on social media, the kind of utterances that are said and what even people are really even pushing for, Is it the same as the online activism that is happening online, really? Is it the same that is on the street, even on the ground?
Yeah, somehow I think it's the same, but another thing, the difference is they're now attacking politicians directly. Like we see Honorable Jematia, the women rep of Baringo County, being attacked by I think sexual reproductive health. Yeah, it's now in social media it's a bit different from the physical one. The physical one, they don't abuse people. It's just rejecting the finance bill and asking for their rights. Yeah.
And you mentioned something interesting where a number of MPs have found themselves on the corner of being targeted by, well, a section of Kenyans after voting yes, and even after coming out and saying, I voted yes on the second reading because of this and this and this. And people actually probably sharing their contacts. What do you make of this? Is this now Workism, quote unquote, this new wave of and a whole new dynamics of protesting?
You know, we elected MP to represent the people. But when the MPs, they are now representing their parties and their party leaders, you know, it becomes a bit difficult for the people to see representation. Now, when they text their area MP, because even me, I texted mine, you keep that MP accountable to what he does or he or she does in Parliament.
Did the MP respond?
Yes. You know, in my county, we are just few. We know each other. So he responded and he left the group. Yeah. So I think texting the MP will make them know that they're being kept accountable. So anything they're going to do in Parliament, they will know we are representing the people, not the parties of which they are representing. You see, when, like MPs from Northern Kenya, you rarely see them speaking in Parliament. Their work is just voting yes, I vote yes, without even reading those bills. They even don't contribute in those parliaments. We call them, now this week we have been calling them Bubu community in Parliament. You cannot vote yes in Parliament, and yet you are always Bubu community. So we are keeping them accountable. Right. Anyone who voted yes, you are meeting us right now. And for the MPs from Northern Kenya who voted yes, voting yes means voting yes for our people to pay the land list of the land in the finance bill.
Which again...
Which I'm coming from a county where we own masses of land. Our land is vast, and everyone, you see people have 10 acres, 5 acres. When you tell a pastoralist to pay that list, you are killing that person.
A correction kindly. Loretta, that land lease is not reflected on the Finance Bill 2024. It's a different, a whole bill that is also in the National Assembly. It propped up during this whole conversation, but then from what I understand, it is not in the Finance Bill. But then
it needs to be rejected. Yes, completely.
Well, yes. We'll be getting to really understand all those the conversations. But then, I'm being told right now we go to Motate, specifically in Voi, just to listen to what and see what the whole situation is in these demonstrations.
Kama vijana wa Mwatate, tumechoka na serikali ya Ruto, tumechoka na Aika, tumechoka na Shake, tumechoka na Bwire. Na tunawaambia hivi, hatuogopi na muende nyumbani. Majamaa, vijana tibim, vijana tialala. Hatuogopi, hatutishwi.
So, sisi kama vijana wa Mwatate, tunasema hivi. Shake ametusaliti, Bwire ametusaliti na Ika ametusaliti. Na hizi vitu zetu tunapinga kwa hii finance bill. Hiyo land bill. Hatuwezi kuwa tumerithi mashamba kutoka kwa ancestors and then sahi lazima tulipie rent. Ya pili, Shake Canon Iscariot ametusaliti pakubwa. Life is getting difficult, but ana support tulipie diapers, tulipie sanitary pads na hizo vitu zote. Sisi hatuwezi stahimili hiyo, tuko against shake na tuko against finance bill. So vijana 2027 lazima tuingize one of our own. Hatuwezi simamia hii kitu. We are better people.
Mimi ni mama wa Mwatate na mimi nasimamia kama mama wa Mwatate. Na tuko na hasira sana kwa sababu huyu baba tumempatia kura zetu na leo ametusaliti. Hivi anataka tuanze kurudi kwa maisha ya zamani ya kutumia mabrangeti na magodoro. Hatutaweza kuafford hizi nini always. Kwa hivyo hatutakubali. Tulimpatia kura zetu na sasa ameamua kutusaliti mbele ya Kenya nzima, mbele ya dunia nzima. Tuna uchungu na yeye. Hatumtaki kabisa. Hatumtaki.
Kasoro tu tuliona Chome alivote no. Tukaona Mwashako alivote no. Mmetuangusha, mmetupeana kama kafara. Sisi Taita Taveta 2027 tutawanyonga venye mnatunyonga pale bunge. Tare Tuesday kesho you vote yes, we vote you no. Na kura 2000 hatuwezi shindwa kuchukua. Tuko wengi wananchi. Sahi, Mheshimiwa Ruto unasema kwamba unataka kuongea na kijana. Utachukua kijana gani uongee naye? Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Right, and that is just a nutshell of what people in Mwatate, specifically in Taita Taveta County, is saying. Correction, I said Voi, but it is Taita Taveta County. That is just what we'll be taking a look at in different parts of the country. Director, I don't know if you have another one or can continue engaging Lorere on the same. All right, we'll be crossing over to Kisii, where Alfaya Kombo is, just to take a look at what is going to be happening there. Last week, it was quite a beehive of activity in that particular area. But before we get to Kisii, Lorere, something that, even as you also chime in on what people of Mwatate are saying, a conversation that we were having before we crossed over, that land lease conversation. And so it is a whole proposed law requiring owners of freehold land within or close to urban areas to pay an annual land levy. Addition to land rates is among grievances really fueling this protest. So the proposed levy on freehold land has also been criticized by the National Lands Commission, and it is imposed under the Land Laws Amendment number 2 Bill of 2023, which is before the National Assembly, and is mounting criticism of the levy, has coincided with the anti-tax proposed protest. So it is something that is totally away from the Finance Bill 2024. And this brings me to the kind of misinformation that is there even online, because even as I was asking you, the kind of online activism that happens, because it definitely transcends back to the ground. When you listen to a number of X spaces, well, formerly Twitter, the kind of what people are saying there, as much as they are factual truths, but then there is actually misinformation, some bits and pieces of misinformation, which again now transcends to the ground. What is the impact of this misinformation? Because for someone who comes across some of these statements online, and then they go to the street and they start protesting, but then they're protesting bits and pieces of what is actually misinformation.
You know, we are not demonstrating because of misinformation. You see, Ruto is overtaxing Kenya, double taxation. We are not protesting only because of finance bill, but even other bill.
Okay.
You see, like they have removed the motor vehicle tax, but they have replaced it with road maintenance. So what is that? So you should tell us, he will tell us he has removed the motor vehicle tax, but he's replacing with something else. What is that? So we are rejecting everything, from finance bill, from those other taxes, everything. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But about the land issue, so like in many places there is this municipality. So why tax people? There is this annual fee that you pay at the land offices. So what's this again of doubling the taxes? So I think it's just funny and Ruto should stop it. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the whole online activism and members of the public literally going to and even having the contacts of their leaders. As you also say, you texted your leader. Do you feel like this will really have an impact, even for today? This particular MP, at the back of their mind, they remember, I received about 1,000 messages, and all of these people are telling me reject, no. So they have that in mind versus what their political affiliations and even the political leaders would probably be telling them. This is what you need to know. At the end of the day, who do you think they're going to be listening to? The thousands of messages they received vis-a-vis what they are aligned to?
Our politicians, they're very smart. They know how to play with our minds. Some of them will boycott going to parliament today. Like you saw, the Mohammed Ali didn't go to parliament on that day. So some will boycott going because they fear going against the party position, and they fear their constituents will attack them. So most probably, more especially in counties like Nairobi, some might boycott going to parliament. But it's texting the MP is really impacting, because some even fear going back home. Because what will you say now that you voted yes to issues affecting your constituents? What will you tell them? Will you tell them that I'm in parliament representing Ruto, not representing the people? Yeah.
All right. Just to remind again, you can always chime in this conversation. Earlier on, we had asked you, what are your expectations today as members of parliament vote, and the whole committee of the whole house will be in parliament today. I'll be sampling a couple of your feedbacks. I don't know if we have Alfayo Combo ready for us. Right. So even as we also prepare for that, now getting into today, what do you really expect? Still on this whole conversation of, are you really saying they felt the impact of what the people are really going to be telling them? About 150 amendments from 35 MPs. It is going to be quite a lengthy. Take a look at the order paper. It is going to be something that a few minutes from now, really, it was supposed to start at 9:30. The sittings of the House, the morning session. And this might probably start maybe at around 10 a.m. thereabout. It might also have an afternoon sitting if the morning sitting will not have ended. But then what do you really expect? What is the kind of aura that you expect around the National Assembly today? Comparing this to even last year, how the mood was at that time?
The counties at the National Assembly right now, it looks like a fight between Azimio members and Kenya Kwanza members. So when the members of parliament fail to discuss issues-based discussion, they are now discussing, you are in Kenya Kwanza, you are in Azimio, so it dilutes everything. But what we expect as Kenyans is our MPs should discuss these issues deeply, not because they are in Kenya Kwanza or because they are in Azimio. We don't want to know which part they are, but what we want to know, what are they doing in parliament? Are they representing us or their parties? Secondly, we want to know we want to see them discussing this issue deeply and rejecting, because right now I've heard that it's hard to reject the whole finance bill completely because it has passed one process, and it's now they are going to vote according to they are going to vote area by area.
Yeah.
So
the proposed amendments.
Yeah, what I'm expecting is they should remove all that affects the people. Yeah.
Right, and that is in comparison to the front page of Daily Nation, where they were asking which way, Mr. President, and they quote four possible options that the president has in this case. because it's either for today, so in case it is going to pass and a majority of members of parliament to vote yes, then we do expect Thursday President William Ruto to assent it into a law so that it becomes Finance Act. So those are the two chances that we see. But then here they say, so number one, borrow more. Amended bill is passed, but state borrows more to fill budget deficit. President can reverse pledge to do away with some taxes is the second option. Third being Treasury can slash budget in line with amended finance bill. And the fourth one, Kenya Kwanza can withdraw bill for fresh start. In your view, which is, should I say, the safest option? Which option should the president really go for? Which option, again, does the country need to go forward?
According to me, I think they should just remove everything and start afresh.
How will that process look like, though? Because if by the next financial year, and this particular finance bill will not have been assented, we'll still be forced to use the Finance Act for 2023.
But they have not fully implemented the Finance Act 2023. Why rush to another one that is being rejected by Kenyans? I think the government should just use the 2023 Finance Act because it's not fully implemented.
Right. So how now will, because the whole conversation right now is reject the finance bill.
Completely.
So completely. So case in point, it is rejected completely. So how will, so paint me a picture of how that process will again begin of now creating and drafting a new finance bill 2024, because at the end of the day, we definitely need a finance bill 2024 to see how the budget will be financed. So how will this process look like for you?
You know, I'm speaking at Mwananchi. I want it to be rejected completely.
Okay.
But according to the government, they want it to be amended. And of course, they have the numbers. So they will just win at the end of the day.
Okay, so basically, even as a common Mwananchi, and speaking on behalf of so many others, and even from where you come from, because a number of people would definitely say yes, reject this particular bill. So as a common Mwananchi, because I'm pretty sure the particular proposals that are here that really irk you and so many of Kenyans. So what will you advise, probably even the parliament, to do to have a new, probably bill? And case in point, the public participation bit, because it happened, the public participation, but then Kenyans are saying we did not participate in this.
Yes, there is public participation and there is adopting what the people discussed. You see, even those who are in finance committee, the opposition MPs who are in finance committee, they are saying, we went for public participation, but the government decided this. So if the committee didn't adopt what the people said, so why the need of wasting time for public participation? I think what the government should do now, in order to save its image, is just to completely reject this finance bill, then we start afresh.
Right.
Yeah, keeping in mind the views of the people during public participation and adjusting some things in this finance bill. But making it to pass without minding the feelings of the people, then utapata wajenzi online.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your expectations today as MPs consider and take a vote on various amendments of the Finance Bill 2024 is our question of the day. Alfanya Kombo is on standby, uko Kisii, so we definitely do expect a whole beehive of activities. Alfanya Kombo, a very good morning to you. What kind of activities are we going to be expecting today? Watu wa Kisii mnasema aje? Alfayo Kombo, if you can get me.
Thank you very much, Stanley Nyaringita. I can get you very well from these sides of Kisii. I'm in the famous Kisii capital roundabout here. With me, I'm availed with several rioters who are young Gen Zs who are with me here. As you can allow me speak in Swahili. Unavyoona ni vijana ambao wamejaa hapa, wamekuja tayari kuandamana siku hii ya leo mapema asubuhi katikati ya mji wa Kisii. Tutakuwa nazungumza nao watueleze hasa siku ya leo umejipangaje, ikiwa leo ndio siku ambao wabunge wanaenda kupiga kura kwa mara ya 3 kuweza kupitisha mswada ule wa fedha. Hisia zenu ni zipi, na je, wabunge wenu mnawaraiaje?
Kwa majina anaitwa Evans Nyakundi. Gen Z oye! Gen Z oye! Reject the bill! Reject the bill! Reject the bill! Nataka kuambia watu leo, watu we need, hatutaki politicians leo. Leo ni Gen Z wako kwa njia, wanafaitia maisha yao. Hivyo ndio naambia wale wabunge walivote yes. Leo ndio tunataka kuwaonyesha leo mtarudi nyuma, say no.
Asante sana. Pia tuweze kupata kijana mwingine na atueleze hisia zake ni zipi.
Kama kawaida ni Pogba, mwanabunge kutoka Kisii. Mimi nataka kuambia kila Mkenya, hapa hakuna mambo na Kenya Kwanza, hakuna mambo na Azimio, hakuna mambo na chama chochote wala Roots Party. Hapa ni mambo na Mkenya na shida zetu. Vijana oye! Vijana oye! Ruto wapi? Nyumbani. Ruto wapi? Nyumbani. Ama hiyo pili ipoteze kabisa, ipoteze kabisa.
Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gen Z TV. Gen Z resist. Gen Z resist Ruto. Zakayo shuka. Zakayo enda nyumbani. My name is Engineer Richard Otieno Odipo, the former president, Kisii National Polytechnic. I'm here to stand with the youth and to reject the bill. To reject the bill. Gen Z resist the bill. I want to tell you that it is our democratic right. That we have freedom of expression. We have freedom of opinion. It is the citizens that are the bosses of the MPs. The MPs that rejected the bill did the right thing. The MPs that accepted the deal must change their mind, because we are your bosses. You have no opinion to bring a bill that is going to make us suffer. We are the youth, and we elected a president that was a youth. But today it is the opposite. Zakayo shuka. Gen Z reject the bill. Gen Z reject the bill.
Hapa hiyo tupate mwenzako na atueleze yake ni yapi ambako nayo.
Thank you so much, this Ogoro Mtetezi. Thank you so much, this Ogoro Mtetezi. Ogoro Mtetezi is the former Secretary General Masinde Muliro University. I am here today convert with my veros from the county. We are here to reject the finance bill. The first phase went through in the last week, and we are here to insist to send a warning more so the MPs from this region, Kisii County. Yes. Mr. Osoro. Yes. Mr. Zahia Janda. Yes. Mr. Japheth. Yes. Mr. Alpha. Yes. We want to warn you, Jerusha from Nyamira County. Yes. You did whatever we never sent you last week. Mukatusaliti. Mukasaliti kina mama mboga, mukasaliti vijana, mukasaliti nchi yetu. Lakini leo tumetokea, tumejipanga vizuri. We are actually disappointed. Hatujaona askari so far, and you know that maandamano bila askari na tiaga sio maandamano. Comrade power! Comrade ria!
Kama asante, pia tupate kijana wa mwisho kabisa atueleze hisia zake ni gani.
Yes, kwa majina. Yes, I'm Douglas Samuel, and as the Gen Z, we are here. We want to reject the finance bill 2024. Reason being that we as the youth, we are suffering here in the streets. and that's the reason why we have come out here, so that we can get our rights, so that we as youth can help other people in the nation as youth, because our mothers and fathers are at home there, are suffering. They can't come here and speak with their sound. But we are here representing them as the Gen Z's power! Power! Gen Z power!
Naam, asante sana Stanley Nyaringita. Kama unavyoona hisia za wakazi walipo katika eneo hili. Pengine tupate wa mwisho kabisa.
Osoro lazima utashuka na wewe Zakayo wako hapa chini. Naweza kuambia wewe Zakayo na utashuka chini. Hata usikisha wewe Zakayo.
Boss, let me to talk. Mimi nasema ya kwamba Mungu wetu tuonee maachafu. Ruto tuachane na sisi tafadhali, tukuve kikwetu. Na sita zetu. Tunataka tukuve na sita zetu, sio sita zako. Tuachane, Mungu atusaidie. Zakayo!
Naam, asante sana. Kama unavyosikia, hizo ndio hisia baadhi za wakazi katika eneo hili. Ni swala ambalo tutakuwa tunafuatilia kwa kina ili tuweze kuhakikisha katika habari za baadaye tuweze kufikia. Sina la ziada ila kurejesha usukani kwako studioni, Stanley Nyaringita.
Asante sana Alfayo Kumba from Kisii, quite a beehive of activity, and definitely expecting a whole second round. Whatever happened last week, we are anticipating to see what will be happening in Kisii. Alfayo Kumba is on boots on ground there, and tutakuwa already kwake na subsequent bulletins during the day to see what will be there. And in studio, I do have Gabriela Lor. She's the national youth leader of Upia Party. Just taking a look at what to really expect today concerning this particular protests. Well, the Gen Z really say it is 7 days of rage, and for today specifically is just Occupy Parliament, and the whole matter is just reject finance bill. Even before we actually, before today, there have been quite the series of events. The protests included, as well as a number of abductions of people who have quite the following, even on X, and online activists. So far, there's some who were picked by unknown people, so to speak, and were released a little bit later on. As of this morning, the flyers going around of #free Gabriela Lor, #free Osama Otero. What are your thoughts on this kind of series of events, of this abductions that are there?
You think, the government, they are trying to find the leader behind this maandamano, and it's difficult to identify one, because they are now doing random, kidnapping people randomly, thinking they are the leader of this maandamano. But this maandamano doesn't have any leader.
Does it need one?
For now, we don't want any leader. We are just a movement that needs change. We don't have leadership, and the government should just stop picking people randomly, because they're just getting with the leader.
But frankly speaking, despite the fact that as much as there's not going to be one a solo leader, but then do you think there is a particular structure? And the reason I'm asking that is because earlier on we were talking about, bits of misinformation that you're saying. They're not coming on the streets to really rally behind the whole misinformation. But then, so if there are certain structures, so have you seen the structures, and you believe there are structures where certain people can actually come out and say, this is what we are really protesting about, and this is our agenda, so to speak. Because at the end of the day, even the president over the weekend said, I'd love to have a conversation with you guys. So who at the end of the day is going to actually be on the table to have this conversation?
And we don't have the leader. When you say we have the leaders spearheading this maandamano, you're putting those people at risk of being subjected, of being subjected by the government. Ruto is very smart. He wants us to say who are the leaders, so that he can deal with those leaders and silence them. And this maandamano will be something of just like other maandamano of the opposition. So now we are saying we don't have any leader. We are the leaders, all of us, all Gen Zs in Kenya, and from all counties, everyone is a leader. So this is a movement that doesn't need to have a leader, but we need to just achieve our goal, which is to reject the finance bill, reject all taxes that this government is imposing to the people. That's all. But adapting people now that you think they are leaders, they just have big followers in social media. They are not leaders of this maandamano.
Right.
So the government should just stop. They should stop stopping that law.
The objections that are there. Quite an interesting bit of a conversation and dynamics. Does it need a leader? It is a whole movement, but does it need a leader? Right now, I want to take you all the way to Kakamega, where Violet Auma is, and just see the kind of live pictures that are there. If quite a number of people have come out on the streets to actually hashtag Occupy Parliament as well. Violet Auma, habari asubuhi, watu wa Kakamega, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, thank you so much. We are coming to you live from Kakamega County, and of course, these are just protests that are being, seen everywhere in the country. As we speak, we have youths here in Kakamega County who are also decided to join other youths across the country for the demonstrations against the finance bill. I don't want to talk much. Let me just bring them in to hear from them what are their grievances. Tueleze majina yako na ni kwa sababu gani mnaandamana. Just I'll hold for you please.
Yes, kwa majina ni Larry Kadima. Na tunaandamana ku reject finance bill. Ruto must go. Reject finance. Not edit, not reject. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm Aswani Vincent. Aswani Vincent Mwalimu is the senior activist in Western Kenya, the coordinator. I would like to say this, as Gen Zs, we don't have any leadership. And recently, I saw the president requesting to meet us. We have two conditions for him. For we to meet the president, we want him not to apprehend his signature on that bill. That is one. Then number two, we are saying, if it happens that the president apprehends the signature on that bill, then it means that all the working associations have to ask their members to come down and lower down their tools. We are not ready to work for a bill that is punitive. Lastly, I would like to say this to all the MPs who are voting yes. The MPs who are voting yes, those are Judas Iscariot. We are not ready for them at any point. Thank
you. I'll hold you, please.
Sawa. Mimi ndo naitwa Rasa hapo umepata. Kakamega tunasema tunadai kuzua rais arudishe hiyo kitu chini. Si ndio tulimweka hapo. Ruto must go ndo kilio yetu. Mpaka atoke Ruto must go.
Okay guys, thank you guys.
Kwa wale wabunge walivote yes, tunawaambia makanisani tutakuwa huko, kwa matanga tutakuwa huko, tutaona watatembea wapi. Na tunaambia Ruto, this country will not be ruled by thugs and we will not be compromised.
Thank you. As you've heard from the youths here, and of course we will be talking to a number of them in our subsequent bulletins just to get to hear their feeling about the whole thing. But it is in the whole country. But yesterday we were able also to see some of the demonstrators in Malava, and for them they are still agitating for the same thing. They want a finance bill to be dropped, and of course this is just but one of the groups that we will be talking. Other groups that will be talking in Kakamega County, and later on, of course, in our subsequent bulletins, we will be telling our viewers at TV47 what is happening currently in Kakamega County. I take it back to you.
Reject finance bill.
Right, that is just a statement of what people from Kakamega are saying. Thank you very much, Violet Aoma. We'll be getting back to her in our subsequent bulletins just to see how things will be looking like, how the roads will be looking like, if the traffic situation in that particular area is going to be happening. We're told right now on your screen is live pictures from Mombasa. It is what was really last week on, I believe, on Thursday. Residents of Mombasa really came out on the streets to chant Reject Finance Bill 2024. We'll be again taking a look at different parts of the country, including Nakuru and even in Nairobi, how State House will be, the kind of security presence and the heavy security presence is going to be taking like, and even right in the Parliament buildings. Right now, I want to take you all the way to Nakuru, where Chichi Josephine is. Chichi, very good morning to you. How is the situation like in Nakuru? Have people come out in large numbers to protest?
Well, Stanley, it is not yet a very good morning here, and it is a Tuesday morning, and clearly street demos have returned in Nakuru streets, where these are the Gen Zs, or rather, as you may call them, the Gen Zs, and also some of them are millennials, and everybody is out here in the streets ready to take it to the street to protest against the Finance Bill 2024. But at the far end, as you can see, Stanley, is that we have quite a number of them who arrived here. According to them, is that they arrived here as early as 7:30, ready to take it to the streets of Nakuru to protest against the Finance Bill 2024. And as you can see, far end, I know my camera person is of course showing that their placards are carrying slogans against the Finance Bill 2024. And I have talked to a majority of the Nakuru residents or Nakurians, if you may call them so, and they say today they carry in them heavy hearts. Why? Because they feel betrayed by the members, some of the members of Parliament who voted yes in the Parliament and who voted yes to the Finance Bill. And so they are here, of course, ready to protest. But they say, despite them feeling the betrayal from the members of Parliament, they will not, or rather they are undeterred, and they will continue protesting in peace. And they are from here, where I am, is at the railways grounds here in Nakuru town, and they will be going through, or rather along the Kenyatta Avenue to the Nyayo Gardens, and then to different places of Nakuru County. But compared to last demos, today we are seeing some of them, of course, coming here, but they had planned that they will begin the demos at around 11. But as you can see, is that some of them have already arrived here. But without further ado, allow me just talk to some of them to tell me why they are here today. And of course, them talking of a betrayal from their members of Parliament. Nitangulize na nani? Wacha nitangulize na wewe. Nieleze kwa nini kwanza uko hapa.
Kwa majina kwanza naitwa Amdana Omar Manze. Leo nimekasirika vibaya sana. Niko hapa kuangusha finance bill iende home. Ruto ametuzoea sana. Kila siku nikupandishia gharama ya maisha. Manze tumeshindwa kuishi. Sisi kama majenzi tumeamua leo ni kubaya. Kama ni vile Ruto atatuchapa atuchape. Amesema atatokea kwa street. Acha atokee. Mbona situface yeye mwenyewe atuongeleshe? Tunataka msee anaweza akatuongelesha. Sisi hatuna kiongozi yote. Sisi wenyewe ndio viongozi wa hii country. Hatutaki uongo, tumechoka na kudanganywa manze. Kila siku tumetenga sasa bilioni 1 ya uongo. Sisi hatutaki hiyo uongo manze. Hapa tuko hapa real. Tumekuja kuwakilisha, kujituma manze Ruto. Manze Ruto, angalia hii maombi yetu manze. Kama wazungu walirudi nyumbani, wewe ni nani wezi rudi Sugoi? Sugoi direct, tunaona Sugoi. Sugoi si mbali, tunakupeleka mguu. Manze tumekasirika. Man.
Kwa majina naitwa James. Na tumekuja hapa kuprotest. Na kama unatuona hapa hivi, sisi ni watu wa peace, ndio Gen Z. Sisi hatutaki vita, hatutaki tear gas. Sisi we are peaceful. Sawa. And then I want to tell this to Mr. President. You cannot tax a poor nation to prosperity. Haiwezekani. Ama ni aje? Inchi kwanza, inchi ni maskini.
Kabisa.
Kwanza fanya hivi. Hatujasema tulipi tax. Kama ni aje? Tutalipa, lakini Hizo pesa zetu unapeleka wapi? Barabara hatuoni, hospitali hakuna madawa, wamama wajawazito umesema ati wasizae sasa.
Turukana wanasomea chini ya miti.
Na watu wasinyeshe. What is that?
Sikia mwanamke, wewe na kuona ni mwanamke, je, kauli yako?
Message yangu ni kwa Ruto. Kwanza ni upende usipende tutanyesha. Na pili ni pads utashukisha. Hakuna tax utatoa. Wife yako ananyesha, kama anyeshi mtoi wako ananyesha.
Sikia kauli yako kwa ufupi, nieleze wale ambapo walisema kwamba wanahitaji vipengele fulani viweze kutolewa. Je, ni ku reject completely ama ni kuondoa vile?
Mwanzo kabisa kuna two things ku delete ama ku edit is not what we want, kwa sababu hii finance bill it has a lot of punitive taxes ambazo zimefichwa pale ndani, and then wanatoa pande moja wanasema wamedelete, wanarudisha the same one, wanaongeza kwa kitu kingine. That is what we don't want. And as a reminder, this is not just about the finance bill. This is more than just a finance bill. We are talking about corruption. We are talking about historical injustice to the youth. We are talking about all the patriots ambao wanapigania nchi iweze kuwa na better governance. We are talking about Rivanyala. We are talking about all those abductions that they're making. This is about time that we're coming out kusema hii story si ya finance bill peke yake. Misappropriation of funds and all those things that they are doing. This is about that.
Naam, shukran kwa ajili ya wakati nitakuzungumzia baadaye. Ndio. Therefore, Stanley, understand that those are the chances in this particular county of saying they are out here in the streets to of course protest against the finance bill 2024. But just to give you a clear picture of how it is in Nakuru County, is that there is a heavy presence of police security, or rather the police here. As you can see, some of them are just arriving at the railway grounds. And of course, we have seen the anti-riot police in some parts of this county. We have seen them, of course, manning the area. That is the State House Lodge in Nakuru County. They are manning that place to ensure that there is no access to it by the civilians. So I am here. Of course, I will be bringing new updates to our viewers as they occur in Nakuru County. Therefore, allow me keep an eye on this, and I will definitely come live again to ensure that our viewers are kept updated to the current updates from Nakuru County. Over to you, Stanley. My name is Chichi Josephine.
Thank you very much, Chichi Josephine, for all those live updates. You can also see live pictures in Mombasa. That is just what is happening on different parts of the country. We'll also be taking a look at how different of how the situations would be looking like, specifically as well in Nairobi. And Nairobi is also going to be the heart of all these conversations, because specifically in Parliament buildings, whatever you're seeing right now is in Mombasa. Live pictures. Young people have come out with placards with, well, some were actually told come out with a Kenyan flag. So you can definitely spot a couple of flags of Kenya and placards. We'll be getting to know what Mombasa residents are saying. Here in Nairobi, the Parliament buildings, there is quite the heavy security presence just outside the Parliament buildings, even as young people who are in Nairobi really just trying to occupy Parliament and just stage the demonstrations near and around the Parliament buildings. Last week, quite a number of people tried this, but then police chased them away with tear gas and tear gas canisters. So we wait to see how that will be happening. But that even as that happens, so at least 34 members of National Assembly have lined up of 100 amendments to the contentious Finance Bill 2024, and this is in both members of the National Assembly of both opposition as well as the ruling party. So the House will today be considering the bill in the committee stage, clause by clause, after pushing it through the second reading level last week. And so Loretta, because before we actually wrap this up, and in each and every single place that we hear is reject the finance bill. What we don't really hear from these young people are solutions. So at this stage, because there are members of Parliament who, at the end of the day, are the policy, will table these policies, there will be public participation. But then what kind of solutions are the young people saying and giving out, apart from reject finance bill?
You know, first, what we are saying is reject finance bill. Remove all the, you know, we are rejecting the finance bill. Ruto is saying, nimetoa hii. But another hand, anarudisha through the other way. Kama sahi wanasema, we have removed the sanitary towel. But 80% of the sanitary towels in our supermarket is imported. Now, if you say we have removed the sanitary towel to be local-based, the Kenyans to use the local manufactured sanitary towels, and its quality is very poor. So what are you saying? In short, you are saying we haven't done anything concerning the sanitary towels. What we are saying, if you have said we have removed the taxes on several things, let it remain that way, not bringing taxes through back door. What Ruto is doing is removing this, but bringing it back through back door. So one of the solutions is we expect our members of parliament to listen to the people and stop taking orders from State House. Failure to do so, you know, hii Kenya ni sisi tunapiga kura sio State House. We will deal with you 2027, but the message is home. Reject the finance bill. Failure to do so, we will deal with those who are voting yes. Come 2027.
Come 2027, and
yes.
That is where I was heading, because quite a number of Kenyans are really pushing for the exit of the president right now. Even the whole chance. I remember on Sunday where the president was in a function, a number of young people saying Ruto must go, quote unquote. And because right now we're in 2024, so that's about 3 years to the next elections. And this might really even be tied to the fire of the whole demonstrations that is happening right now. Do you think that the fire will sustain? What will actually make the fire keep burning on these young people, so that even for the next 3 years, all this conversation will still continue?
Maisha imekuwa ngumu. It will continue because first maisha itapanda, and we will be paying taxes heavily. So that will remind you the need to remove that member of parliament who is just voting yes there in parliament without thinking twice. Secondly, yes, we can remove the president, but it's not possible in Kenya. Right now, it's not possible because
we don't have IEBC.
We don't have IEBC. Our priority now is not being. We have members of parliament who are speaking the same language with the government. So who is representing mwananchi? You can just say remove the president, remove what, but at the end of the day, until 2027, we can do nothing right now. Yeah.
All right. Could I get a sentence? All right. Thank you very much. Gabriela Lor, she's the national youth leader of OPIA party. We told because of time we really have to wrap it up. This has been Morning Cafe, but remember, we'll be continuing with our special coverage of today's events. Quite a number of events lined up for you, so stick around right here, TV47, for all that in Parliament buildings as the committee of the whole House sits down to just take a look at the proposed amendments and vote clause by clause. And I'm being told it is actually the morning sitting has already begun. As you can see on your screens, National Assembly Minority Leader, there, Opiyo Ndai, speaking in Parliament. Quite a number of waheshimiwas have already, entered. So stick around for that. Our team will be in just outside Parliament buildings and on standby to give you more of these particular details. We'll also be giving you a whole coverage of